Hey, what's going on, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I'm going to do my best to react to the Miami versus Hawk game 5, which knocked the Hawks off. And why I say I'll do my best is because I did see some of that game, but not all of it, because, of course, the NBA would schedule 2 games that you want to see at the same time. So I had to turn away in order to make sure that I get a chance to see the other games that was played. So this is the reality of the situation. The Hawks should have gone home after the last game. There should have never been no reason to play this game. None. You know, it gets to a point where it's like, when a team is cooked. The Hawks were cooked. And tonight you saw a cooked team just lay down and be dead. That's it. That's what it was. You got to give a shout out to Kevin Huerter because he showed up in the final game. Got to give a shout out to DeAndre Hunter because he was spectacular in this game. But he fouled out early, and that was it. He had 35 points, something like that. I mean, he was hitting all kinds of shots, showing you why he was 4th overall to the Los Angeles Lakers, might I add. Even though we couldn't keep the pick because, of course, we were giving away our whole lives and future for Anthony Davis. Got a shiny ring to show for it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you forget it. But either way, DeAndre Hunter's in 2022 killing it in these playoffs just like the rest of our kids. And, it was good to see that. So, the Heat. They didn't have Kyle Lowry. They didn't have Jimmy Butler. And they didn't have any issues with the Atlanta Hawks. Because, of course, Trae Young was also not playing this evening. Oh, he was out there. He just didn't do anything. Man was 2 for 12, had 6 turnovers, and basically was deferring to DeAndre Hunter down the stretch of the game, which is something they should have been doing all season long. Not necessarily deferring to DeAndre Hunter, but deferring to every single talented scorer all over the roster because they have about 200 points worth of scoring. But they only want to use Trae Young. And you see how it turned out. We're learning something, ladies and gentlemen. All of these teams that aren't building properly, all these teams that are skipping steps and skipping the process, doing things that they have no business doing on a basketball floor, not respecting the field, not respecting what the lay of the land actually is. All of these different teams that are doing this are getting knocked off. Teams that aren't playing the players they should be playing, teams that have coaches that should not be there, teams that have superstars that are kind of inflated in their value. All these different teams, all this fluff that the NBA has, the stuff that really lacks substance, honestly, is being extracted from these playoffs. You're seeing it one by one. Because you can't simulate success on a basketball floor. There's no way to fake that. Guys got to go out there and rebound. Guys got to go out there and defend. Guys got to go out there and hit shots. Guys got to go out there and respect each and every possession. And if they don't do that, and the opponent does, they're going to lose. It doesn't matter how much money they make. It doesn't matter what they did in college, high school, 10 years in the pros, who they played with back in 2004. Doesn't matter. None of that in 2022 matters at all. This year it's about how many lengthy, long defenders you have and how many of them can stretch the floor and do things that help cohesiveness of play. If you have enough of that, and the Miami Heat definitely do, then you're going to be able to knock off all the fluff, all the stuff the things that look like it's real but it's fake. You're going to knock that off. And so we're seeing it one by one. It's actually quite fulfilling because I've been talking about a lot of this all year long. I've been telling y'all a lot of these teams ain't that, or a lot of these teams aren't living up to their potential, or a lot of these teams are being run by people who don't know what the hell they're doing. I've been telling y'all this. And Atlanta fits one of those bills, or several for that matter. Because at the end of the day, they are to Trae Young a century. He's a great player. He's worthy of all that they're giving him. But you got to build a certain way to assure that he's successful. And last year they did a fantastic job of making sure they had plenty of depth surrounding him. This year, they got away from that. Some of the players that they were relying on got a little bit older, a little less athletic. Got hurt in some key areas. Didn't replace those players with quality players. Replaced them with guys that are Ain't gonna get it done. That's what happened to the Hawks, man. I think they left a lot on the table by not playing certain players. And that is why I'm so perturbed with them. That's why I speak of them the way I do. Because I know what they got, and I know they don't use it. And as far as the Heat, I was very impressed with them, their others. They have a bunch of guys on that floor that you really have probably never heard of. And if you have heard of them, you look at them as players that don't do much. But in these playoffs, they're making a name for themselves. Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, Max Strus, PJ Tucker. These guys are going hard, man. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Dwayne Dedman. This is happening. You know, Bam Adebayo was out there playing hard. The Heat are not flashy Wade, Braun, Shaq. This ain't that team. But they got a lot of hard-nosed guys that have a lot of experience. And their infrastructure has won. They've already won. They know what they're doing. They know how they're building. And I believe in what they're doing. I believe in what they're doing. When you look and see Caleb Martin and Max Strus double teaming people and forcing turnovers and getting out in the fast break and hitting threes, and you realize that Kyle Lowry's sitting down, Victor Oladipo's sitting down, Jimmy Butler's sitting down while this is happening. It's like, oh, so you're telling me that their third string can knock people off? Yeah, this team is serious. And that's basically what you saw tonight. Their third string knocked the Hawks off by smothering them with defense and taking advantage of their one-dimensional style of play. That's that. Gallinari disappeared in this series. I don't know what happened to him. You know, those guys you just didn't see. Bogdanovich was wildly inconsistent. I understand he was fighting back from injury, but this is one of those things. If you're fighting back from injury, you could be a liability. If you're not 100% healthy, it's not just you coming back hurrying to play for your team. You got to recognize yourself to be who you are. And what is that? An injured body trying to guard against healthy bodies. And what does that make you? A step or two slow at the very best. You ain't helping your team if you ain't 100%. In fact, you're hurting your team if you're not 100%, especially if your coach don't know what the hell he's doing. That's just something everybody has to be aware of. That ain't specific to this series. I'm talking about in general when the playoffs come around. These are things that athletes going forward are going to have to be mindful of. These things matter. If you care about winning, you got to have this kind of stuff in your head. So, yeah, man, the Miami Heat are moving on. If I'm not mistaken, their matchup is set with the Boston Celtics. Don't quote me on that. I think that's what's going on there. So I'll have a video for you on the next series, of course, as the next round, of course, as it comes about. We'll talk about that. No rush on that. But as of right now, I'm going to get back to watching the Pellies and the Suns. The Suns were up 10 last I checked. So we'll see how that game goes. And I don't really have much to say about this one. I'm the Hawks are gone. I don't have a feeling about that. Of course, I'm a Laker fan, so I don't care. But it would be nice to see players get opportunities. And, it's good to see Miami doing that. So that's what I got to say, man. My name is BDF44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.